What's up, guys? Renasant here. Welcome back to the channel. We are in the painted world of Ariamis, and as you can see, we're definitely rocking some new stuff. So of course we got this painted guardian stuff here, and I think it's appropriate that we finish this area in the painted guardian stuff. You'll see we're also using a washing pole plus 14. So there is a couple things that we need to do, one of which is to become a human. So we do want to go ahead and reverse our hollowing here, because there's actually a very interesting invasion coming up. I love the washing pole, mainly for its range, honestly. Like this, I mean, look at how long this weapon is. Got an interesting downward R2. I believe this is the first katana we've used, and that running attack. Ugh. So I guess we can fight the phalanx, and we might not even worry with them. We're gonna come down here to this despicable, all these crucified people, hollows. We don't really know. Some torch hollows about. There's a couple items in this area, but really what we're searching for is actually an NPC invasion. However, this NPC invasion is a little wonky. I have save quit, so hopefully we won't have any issues, but basically the best way to trigger it, in my experience, is to just come out here and just start picking up all the items, really. As you can see, they're nothing but soul items, really. There he is. Dark Spirit King Jeremiah. And you can see he spawns up there. Very interesting NPC. You'll notice he's got some interesting characteristics here. First of all, he's using Chaos Pyromancies. So those Chaos Pyromancies are very rare. Not many people are privy to them. You see he's got a whip in one of his hands there. I mean, he's got every pyromancy under the sun. But most importantly, he's got the hat. The hat to embarrass all other hats, man. Unfortunately for King Jeremiah, well, fortunately for him, he does a lot of damage. Unfortunately for him is he's relatively squishy, and because he's primarily a pyromancer and not a melee type character, he's not that hard to kill, honestly. I mean, you can see I'm just chilling here. He's just kind of bugged out down there, spraying flames. So let's go ahead and send him to the nether realm. Now, you may be thinking, you know, where's all his stuff? We got the notched whip, and for now, that's going to be all we're going to get. But we will get his other stuff just later. Notched whip, I have no idea where this could be. I don't think I've ever used a whip in this game. More power to you if that's what you want to do, though. There it is. Whip with sharp spikes. Yeah. Only slightly effective against armor and tough scales, but quite formidable against enemies with exposed skin. Also, because it's heavy bleeding. As you see, it has a 300 bleed auxiliary effect, similar to the claw, which we may or may not use the claw. We'll find out when the time comes. Alright, so that's it for this little area. I think we got all the... Did we get this item over here? No. So it was a pyromancy called Acid Surge. Pyromancy 4 into the Great Swamp. Emit acid which corrodes weapons and armor. Not all pyromancies originate in the Great Swamp. One hears rumors of unknown pyromancers inhabiting various lands, and this spell is the work of one such outlander. So obviously referring to Jeremiah there. So they're basically saying that he is not from the Great Swamp. He does not originate from that area. But he still somehow knows chaos pyromancies, so that's very interesting. We're actually not going to use the Balder shield, only because we're going to use a shield with a little bit more stability. The area that we are going to now is an interesting one, to say the least. This area, and this is the well area, this area is, as you can see, plagued by bone wheel skeletons. And not only bone wheel skeletons, but it's very dark and hard to see. We see that one. And the other issue with this area is there's a lot of narrow corridors. I know it doesn't look like it right here, but believe me when I tell you, there are a lot of narrow corridors down here. I don't know how that still hurt us, but whatever. Yeah, we see you, punk. So if you come in here unsuspecting and unaware, these guys will rip you a new one. There's quite a lot of them. I mean, that's what, six or seven? There's some soul items. Now you'll also notice there's a wheel in here, so of course we want to pull that. So that opened that door that we originally tried to get to that was locked. You'll also notice this inconspicuous wall here. Get used to that, right? There are quite a few illusory walls in this area, rife with little corridors filled with bone wheel skeletons. I mean, every one here you can basically pick out. They're not hard to identify. Get out of here. The annex key. Key to the annex in the painted world of Ariamis. In the wintry painted world, there is a structure resembling an old cathedral. Its annex serves as a type of storehouse. So we will definitely check that out. All these illusory walls. You know, that's one thing I've never really fully understood, is why they put so many of these in here. I guess just to kind of intimidate you and trip you out, but I don't know, to me they always seemed a little redundant. You're already kind of lost enough, and that's this whole area under here. And you'll notice that this actually comes out of the well. So it's not really a big area for the most part down there. Oh no, did I trigger the phalanx? I did. Either way, we're not going to fight the phalanx. So of course that was the way down there. Oh, the phalanx is moving on up. This is actually where we want to go. If I can get through there. Hear all the crows continue cawing. we got that one. We're gonna actually go up here to the top. Ow. Ow. Oh, you know what? I forget we don't have all the poise we had before. This is working out swimmingly, in case you couldn't tell. Give me your items. Good thing for high stability shields, huh? So they were guarding the miracle vow of silence, and these guys do drop souvenirs of reprisal. Obviously, that's the second one I believe we've gotten from them. Secret rite of the black-haired witch Velka prevents casting of magic within an effect area. Velka, the goddess of sin, is a rogue deity, but she is versed in arts both new and old, and is considered to have a great range of influence even as gods are concerned. Good old Velka. I don't want to drop down there, I don't believe. Yeah, there we go. So there's more Velka lore right there. I always forget though what it's called. I literally just looked at it, but is it Black Cleric Robe? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, robe worn by partners serving Velka, the goddess of sin. The partner's attire is uniformly black in color and said to be imbued with Velka's mystical power, which provides resistance against all manner of magic. So, Velka has been mentioned a couple times as the goddess of sin, okay? Which is fine. It doesn't really explain why, so it doesn't explain up to this point why she is here in this area, but we probably will learn that in a very brief moment. Just trying to look around here. Pretty sure that we just died. Yeah, I couldn't remember if we just died jumping down there. There's still one more item here that we're missing, and I really want to get it, but it's kind of a pain to get, to be honest with you. Let's go get our souls. And we're going to go back to an older previous location just to see, because there's one item that we're missing. Yeah. I don't care about all y'all. Oh, you know what? That was it right there. So I was going to go back to this area to see if I could jump down here. But disregard. I actually forgot about that. Velka's Rapier. A symbolic, powerful thrusting sword used by the Pardoner serving Velka, goddess of sin. It's no mere symbol to be sure. The Pardoner is an inhuman swordsman and wields this enchanted blade with special sword technique. And let me be sure, I did get... I feel like I may be missing something here. I always feel like I'm missing something in this area. Alright, well. You know what? I don't have to fight y'all. I was fighting y'all out of courtesy. did my bloodstain go? You know what? This is what I was trying to find right here. Can't believe I couldn't find that earlier. Yes, so this is what I was looking for right here. So obviously it's another Andre statue here with the dark ember in it. We have a couple embers here. It's the ember for blacksmith weapon ascension. Ember acquired for weapon ascension. The church long hid the forbidden black ember, and no living blacksmith knows of it. Ascends +5 weapons to occult weapon. Occult weapons were used to hunt the gods and are effective against their followers and kin. So that kind of gives you a little bit of indication there. So there is obviously people or creatures, inhabitants, aka maybe these guys, here who were attempting to kill Velka, potentially. It says specifically that she is indeed a goddess of sin. So that would imply that she is, of a deific status, right? And if she is of a deific status, why was she not involved in the whole Anne Orlando escapades, I guess you could say? Not sure. Oh, I'm still missing my bloodstain, aren't I? Should probably get that. It's like 300,000 souls, I'm pretty sure. Where was it? I thought it was like right here, was it not? Please don't kill me. Easy peasy. Get down there. Yeah, this is where I died, wasn't it? Yeah, there we go. Alright. So now that we have every item in this area, there's only one thing left to do. Not sure of the easiest way to get there. So we're just going to do this. The last thing is to go face the boss. Boss is super easy to get to. Would y'all cut it out? Oh, they just get you so frustrated. That was an embarrassing performance, to say the least. But that's okay. I never said I was an expert mechanically. Alright, so run past the phalanx here. And now this door out here that was previously locked is now unlocked. And indeed, you can see the boss fog wall just beyond. As you approach here, you see these hollows. They're going to be shooting arrows at you, or this one is. You may not see this little sneaky one right here. You also may not notice... Where are they at? Oh, there they are. You can see all these guys just chilling on the side of the thing here. And then also a Baronique Knight that just jumps down out of nowhere. Now, one thing good about this man right here, so you can actually, of course, access this area in a lot earlier part of the game. We chose not to, but you can as soon as you get to Anne Orlando. One good thing about this gentleman right here is he is a guaranteed drop of large Titanite shards. There you go. Alright, so here comes our boss. Now, we may die a couple times against this boss, but not because the boss is difficult. The problem with this boss is there is a special weapon you can get from cutting off the tail, much like a lot of the dragon enemies in the game, or the gargoyle. The issue with that is, well, you'll see. So this is Priscilla. You'll notice you can talk to her. She doesn't have a boss bar. She's not hostile. She looks like a freaking rat with her tail and her massive scythe. Let's just see what Priscilla has to say.
Who art thou? One of us thou art not. If thou hast misstepped into this world, plunge down from the plank and hurry home. If thou seekest I, thine desires shall be requited not. Thou must returneth whence thou came. This land is peaceful, its inhabitants kind, but thou dost not belong. I beg of thee, plunge down from the plank and hurry home. Thou must return. This land is peaceful, its inhabitants kind, but thou dost not belong. I beg of thee, plunge down from the plank and hurry home.
So the plank that she's speaking of is right there. She wants us to just leave. She doesn't want us to stay in this world, in this cold painted world. We, however, have a different plan in mind, and we'll talk more about Priscilla after we end her life, but we do want to try to get this tail right off the rip.
I expected as much.
Alright, so we didn't get her.
Why dost thee hurry toward thine death?
Notice she goes invisible. You can actually see her footsteps though. One thing you have to be wary of is the bleed. So you can see one hit from that scythe, and she's building up the bleed effect on our person. We're really just trying to attack her enough to where she'll become visible again, because we really want to get that. Ow. That tail. We're just gonna run away here and chug some Estus. Where you at, Priscilla? There she is. There we go, Priscilla's dagger. Awesome, glad we got that first try.
But why? What seeketh?
We seeketh Ash, boy! Twin Humanities and the Soul of Priscilla. So we got a lot to read here. Priscilla's dagger. Very interesting weapon here. If I can ever find it. There it is. This sword, one of the rare dragon weapons, came from the tail of Priscilla, the dragon crossbreed in the painted world of Ariamis. Possessing the power of life hunt, it dances about when wielded, in a fashion reminiscent of the white-robed painting guardians. So one thing you'll note is it has a 500 auxiliary bleed effect, along with a 110 auxiliary occult effect. And also it requires 20 dex, which is pretty crazy for a dagger. So this thing effectively will bleed the living crap out of enemies. Now, that's per hit, so it does have to be enemies specifically with a higher HP pool. We also got her soul, which we definitely want to check out as well. Which is not going to be in there. It's going to be over here somewhere. soul Priscilla the Crossbreed trapped inside the painted world of Arialis. Not in the painted world, but trapped. Use the soul of this crossbreed bastard child, an antithesis to all life, to acquire a huge amount of souls or to create a unique weapon. So a crossbreed bastard child, and she's trapped here. And why was Velka's what significance did Velka have here? So most people would speculate, and again, this is all right, I apologize for that, guys. My graphics card wanted to update in the middle of the video, apparently. So talking about Priscilla, so she's a bastard crossbreed. So many people would speculate that Priscilla was actually not necessarily a bastard and not necessarily a child, but an abomination, a mix between God's blood and dragon's blood. This mix was supposedly created by Seath the Scaleless. So we will learn a lot more about Seath later in the playthrough, but effectively, as we learned from the opening cinematic and everything, Seath was a scaleless dragon who turned on his dragon kind and sided with Lord Gwyn. Okay, so Lord Gwyn was obviously the king of the gods, the god of gods, Lord of sunlight, everything. Well, his bloodline, so Seath, in order to try to somehow determine, because scales in Dark Souls for dragons, the scales is what makes dragons eternal. That's the symbol of eternal life, is dragon scales. That's why these dragon scales are used to upgrade our weapons. So because Seath was scaleless, he was trying to determine the eternal life. So what he did effectively was try to create or replicate a scaled creature, scaled dragon. So he mixed dragon blood with the royal blood, which created Priscilla. This was seen as sinful and as an abomination. So that kind of leads you to believe they basically, because they were embarrassed and ashamed, and by they I mean the royal family, the gods and goddesses, they locked her away in this painted world. But they still loved her. It was almost like, not a Beauty and the Beast situation, but she was a beast, but they still loved her. So they wanted to make sure she was safe. So they kept her here. And they had all these painting guardians protecting her. And however, they still felt ashamed of her. So the lore implications of Velka is because she's the goddess of sin. The world and probably Velka viewed mixing this god or this lord's blood with dragon blood was a sin. So that could explain all of Velka's stuff being here. One thing to note, and I'm not sure how this is already here. Normally, guys, this item is not here. So this is going to be Jeremiah King's crown and overcoat and everything. I don't know why it's here. It's usually not here unless you reload the area. Maybe when my graphics card BM'd on me, that's what did it. But normally, guys, after you've killed Jeremiah and you've killed Priscilla, you want to reload this area. You can just save quit right here, and Jeremiah's stuff will be right here. Where's that headpiece, man? Let's see it. We gotta check it out. We gotta wear it in the next episode too. A mysterious item once worn by the Xanthus King Jeremiah, the legendary exile. No one knows where it came from. The crown bears high-quality cloth, which is quite soft to the touch, but its bright yellow color stings the eyes, and it's clearly far too big. Yeah, clearly. Alright, so as we approach the edge here, you'll see what Priscilla was talking about when she says, just jump off the plank. She wasn't exaggerating, by the way. Woohoo! I love that noise, that music effect. Dun, dun. So dramatic. And they even give you a homeward bone. Hey, look, guys, I'm one of you. This poor guy Don't you see? I'm your brother. Alright, well. And so this is also a very interesting, a unique thing here. So if we use a homeward bone, obviously the last bonfire we rested at was in the painted world. If we use a homeward bone, it should actually take us, yes, back to this bonfire.
Very auspicious. I hope for the best. I pray that through you, her wish will be granted.
Speaking of Guinevere, of course. Okay, so that's all we got to do here. There's one more thing I wanted to show you in this episode. Well, it didn't take quite as much time as I thought, but we may go give some of these embers, dole some of these embers out, if you will. I do want to show you, though, after we... there's a couple things, actually. After we defeated Nito and talked to Patches down there, Patches will actually, as long as you aren't hostile towards them, Patches will actually become a merchant. Chilling right here. Hello, friend.
Oh, we meet again. How many of you are there? You've come at the perfect time. I'm done with the looting. I'm a humble merchant now, and wondrous treasures have I, at a special price for you. There you are. Have a nice look at them. Oh, relax. No more funny business out of me, my friend.
So he's not kidding when he says no more funny business. God, give us prostration. However, he's gonna have some items for sale that are incredibly expensive.
Here, have you met that backwoods Shiva? Believe me on this one, bruv. The man is trouble. I can see it in his eyes. I just can. No doubt about it. Watch him.
So we did meet Shiva. We actually murdered him. So it's interesting because Patches actually has some interesting advice on a lot of NPCs.
Yeah, have you met that sunbathing Solaire? Believe me on this one, bruv. He's a complete idiot. But he happens to be an awfully strong idiot. So just nod your head and keep him on your side.
I love that one. Solaire. He's an awfully strong idiot. He's not wrong.
Wait, have you met Petrus? That self-proclaimed cleric? Believe me on this one, bruv. The man is scum. Don't you be fooled by his claims to do good. They're all the same, those rotten clerics.
Yeah, Petrus. Well, we're still kind of suspicious of how the maiden ended up in the catacombs, or the Tomb of the Giants, and why both of her compadres, her protectors, had hollowed. And where was Petrus?
Trek the Embraced. Believe me on this one, bruv. He's completely mad. He wouldn't think twice about cutting somebody down. So watch out for him. Especially if you've humanity to spare.
Indeed, he murdered our firekeeper, so we had to murder him in kind.
I'm done with the looting.
Alright. So Patches sells some interesting stuff. Eyes of Death, Divine Blessings, Prism Stones. We may actually buy 99 of those. So he sells unlimited... Oh no, he only sells 3? He sells 3 humanities and 1 twin humanity. So we are going to go ahead and buy that. 2 spells as well, which are conveniently cleric spells. Cast a miracle, the caster learns a tale of the gods and says a prayer to be blessed by its revelations. Heal is the shortest of such miraculous tales. Great Heal excerpt. It's basically several verses of Great Heal. As a result, it can only be cast a start a few times. So go ahead and buy those. And sells a couple items here. Crescent Axe, which is his axe. One of the blessed weapons of the Way of White. The Crescent Axe is bequeathed to cleric warriors who have proven their faith. So the Crescent Axe is actually one of the few weapons that will permanently kill skeletons. It is considered a blessed weapon, so it will kill a skeleton. Mace, nothing there. Oh, we already have one. Canvas Talisman, equip Talisman to cast miracles. Clerics on pilgrimage. Thorlin Talisman, it's a medium for casting miracles of the gods. It's only granted to high-ranking Thorlin clerics. So it's interesting. Patches has all this stuff. It's almost as if he, dare I say, murdered some clerics. And he also, and clearly here, warrior clerics of the Way of White, he clearly murdered some clerics because he sells the entire cleric set, which we will purchase. And then on top of that, he sells the Mask of the Father, the Mask of the Mother, and the Mask of the Child, which are the 3 masks that Pinwheel is wearing. Of course, like I said, you get a random one when you kill Pinwheel, but this way we can just go ahead and buy the other 2. And you see they each do different things. So the Mother slightly raises HP, Father slightly raises equip load, and the Child slightly raises stamina recovery speed.
Right. Good stuff, eh? Don't you forget who got it for you.
Oh, trust me, I will not. Patches. Alright, and so another thing, and this is just, like I said, just some housekeeping stuff here. So if we come over here, we'll notice Petrus is still here. However, Rhea is also here. And we will see her. Disregard. 7 humanities and a pendant. She is not here. So that means that Petrus has already, well, murdered her. Let's read the pendant. Where are you, pendant? Can't really remember where it was. So I couldn't remember exactly how to save it. Yeah. Simple pendant with no effect. Even so, pleasant memories are crucial to survival on arduous journeys. Yeah, so Petrus actually murdered her. I thought I was going to save her, but I think you actually have to kill Petrus before that, or before you kill a one of the Lord Souls. And I think when I killed, after I killed the 4 kings, and then after I killed Nito, it triggered Petrus to murder her. Let's go see if Petrus knows anything about it. Oh, I'm sure he doesn't, though, right?
Oh, you again? Me? I've become separated from my lady. I've scoured near and far, but no sight of her. Where could she have gone? My lady, to think I swore to protect you with my life.
This man murdered her.
Your Highness, where have you gone? I am entirely to blame for this. Oh, woe is me. I am unworthy, deathly so. Are you sure? Then, milady, what terrifying news. What am I to do? All because of my shortcomings. It is my fault. Oh.
Sob.
Oh, I'm sorry. Miracles, was it? I'm distracted by grief. Pay me no mind.
Yeah. So, I don't trust you as far as I can throw you, Petrus. Sorry.
By the law. No. This can't do. It can't end like this.
And if you didn't need any more proof that Petrus is the one who murdered her, let's read about this ivory talisman, shall we? Ivory talismans are granted only to female clerics, and their value is affected dramatically by their owner's faith. You know what, Petrus? You don't look like a female cleric at all. Sorry, guys. I thought I was going to save her. I thought I had one more boss, but apparently not. I'll go ahead and tell you anyway. So if you don't kill one of the Lord Souls, or Major Boss, I guess, Petrus will still be here. Rhea will be praying where we found those humanities. If you kill Petrus before he kills Rhea, Rhea will then end up going hollow, and well, she'll end up getting kidnapped by Seath, and will end up going hollow, and you'll find her at Seath's Grand Archives, Duke's Archives, and you'll have to kill her there, in which case you'll also get the Ivory Talisman. So anyways, guys, that's going to be it for this episode. In the next episode, probably going to do the DLC, maybe. I want to, or start the DLC. I want to do the DLC before we do the Grand Archives, or the Duke's Archives, excuse me. So we'll probably end up doing that, but we'll see when we get there. So anyways, guys, as always, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. We'll see you next time. Bye.